Norman Conquest of England. In 1066, Harold II was the king, crowned that same year. His time in the throne was short but important in medieval Europe. The Duke of Normandy, William, claimed the throne because he was a relative of Edward the Confessor, Harold's predecessor. Edward promised William that he would be his successor, since he did not have children of his own, but he chose Harold while he was in his deathbed. According to the Normans, Harold visited Normandy in 1064 and he was handed over to William. William released Harold when he promised to let him be the King of England. William felt wronged and prepared an invasion. Harald Hardrada, the King of Norway, also claimed the crown. He also believed he was the ruler of Denmark, a reign which claimed sovereignty over England. And also his predecessor, Sweyn of Norway, had been son of the wife of the King of England between 1016 and 1035. Now Harold had to face two invasions at the same time. This led to the Battle of Hastings. Harald Hardrada was successful at first at the Battle of Fulfragate, but he failed at the Battle of Stamford Bridge, where Harald Hardrada was killed. To face William, Harold had an army of 5,000 men. It was composed of infantry, led being the king's housecarls with chain armor and wielded huge axes. The Normans and French allies had archers, crossbowmen, and cavalry. At first, the English resisted creating a wall with their shields. When they tried to attack, Normans broke the wall and were successful at the Battle of Hastings. Harold and his two brothers were killed, and William rested his army and then continued to take London. William's priority was London, so he attacked it from the north in November. During this time, reinforcements landed from Normandy to take Ramney, Dover, Winchester, and Canterbury. This led to the remaining Anglo-Saxons left and Edgar Atheling, Edward the Confessor's grandnephew, their figurehead, to surrender without a fight. William was crowned William I on Christmas Day in 1066. 500 years of Anglo-Saxon rule was over. Motte and Bailey castles were built everywhere. Norman lords took estates after territory. William now focused on the northern half of England, where a few Anglo-Saxon rebels ran away. Eustace of Boulogne, a former ally, attacked Dover from northern France, but the threat was repelled. There was a major rebellion at Exeter, motivated by William's burdensome taxes. William marched there personally for 18 days until the threat was over. Matilda came from Normandy and was crowned queen in May. Son of Harold II attacked Bristol with some other rebels that were exiled in Ireland, but the city resisted with an army. A rebellion led by Edgar broke in York. Malcolm III was a supporter too. He was the King of Scotland. They wanted Edgar as their king and wanted to get their lands back. William marched there personally and the rebels surrendered. King Sweyn II of Denmark sent his brother and 300 ships to attack from the north. Viking warriors and Anglo-Saxon rebels teamed up and sacked York. William paid Vikings to sail off and all of them surrendered. Durham and York were sacked by rebel armies. William then routed rebels in battle. As a result of the many rebellions coming from the north, William instigated his policy of harrying the north, which involved burning livestock, crops, and farming equipment, so no future army will be able to support itself. Many people were killed in the process, innocents too, and there was an important famine. But for William, it was necessary to stop rebellions and demonstrate who the rightful king was. King Sweyn of Denmark arrived to link up with the Anglo-Saxon rebels who had been gathering under the local noble Hereward the Wake in East Anglia. They attacked Peterborough, looting the monastery there, but the Danes sailed off home with the treasure, leaving Hereward alone. He continued and attracted more followers from across the country. The king led an army to deal with it in person, mobilizing both land and sea to attack. The rebels either surrendered or fled. William put down the last Anglo-Saxon rebellion. Scotland was attacked to stop the regular raids on Northumbria. Malcolm III sued for peace, and Edgar Atheling exiled to Flanders. The Normans were here to stay.